5, we making the plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. Great eye in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
And welcome everybody to this episode of Real Talk. We are back, and we got Game 5 kicking off here with Golden State and Boston. Golden State out to an early 2-0 lead is what I have. So definitely some exciting times. Biggest game of the year for both of these teams, and definitely we will get some kind of clarity. Draymond shooting threes in the corner. I'm sure Boston will live with that for the rest of the game.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we can kind of start right there with the games. What were your guys' Game 4 takeaway?
The biggest thing is just another great performance by Stephen Curry. I think at the end of the day, what this game showed us is that if Steph doesn't score 30, they can't win. I think to me that's the biggest takeaway for me is that if he doesn't score 30, they don't have a chance of winning because you don't know what you're going to get from Clay night in and night out, and that's no fault of his. He's coming off of 2 years of being off and not playing any basketball, so. It's kind of to be expected from him. He can't just come in and be, old Clay. And then, Jordan Poole, who everybody was talking about, this was his coming out party, and he's really been a no-show in these finals. So I think that the biggest takeaway for me is the fact that Golden State is really relying heavily on Stephen Curry, and he has to be great in order for them to win.
Okay, I'm with that. Dev, what would you say from Game 4, and even from this series? Would you say your biggest takeaways?
Nobody bench stepped up yet. Like nobody, you know what I mean? It's just like what Kenny said. It's just a one-man show. It starts off a two-man show because Jaylen Brown will flash in the first half, but then at the halftime, it's like, where's Jaylen Brown? And then back to the point as always, the Warriors just keep beating them in the third quarter. Like they still haven't unlocked that mystery yet. It's like, Doug, like, how do y'all not understand? Like, try to stop these guys in the third quarter. But where's Grant Williams? Where's Jordan Poole? Where's Pritchard? What is his name? Pritchard.
Mm-hmm.
Where's a lot of these guys that was playing in the last series? It's like now it's pretty much each team is going 6 or 7 deep, really. You know what I mean, throughout this series. So somebody bench gonna have to show out. And if Boston bench don't really show out first and try to calm Steph down, this like going to be a rough, end of the rough season for Boston.
I agree and I disagree with you on that, Dev. I think we're seeing players coming to the game. I think we're just not seeing a bunch of impact. And Pritchard hasn't really been Pritchard. I would say Derek White's been pretty consistent in his role.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely been the best player off the bench for both teams, no question about it.
And I think Jordan Poole's getting there. He seems like he's getting a little bit more comfortable. But I agree with what you said, Kenny. Derek White's definitely been the best player. I would say the most surprising thing for me is, and I guess I'm not even as surprised about that anymore, but the gap that I think Steph is on the court. Like, he just looks like clearly the best player, and it doesn't look close. And like, I've been a Steph fan, but I've also been a big Jason Tatum fan, coming from that Kobe tree. And it's just been really exciting to watch him play at this level, on this level. And he's and doing it in a variety of different ways. And so I just think we saw, and at least for me, I'll say for me, because y'all know I did not believe in Boston.
But you jumped on the bandwagon.
So like I said, y'all know I was not the Jason, the Celtics guy. Shout out to Jay joining us here tonight.
Whoa. What's going on, guys?
What's happening, Doug? How you feeling?
I'm not seeing the ghost.
I'm good. What's going on, Kenny?
Good to see him. Don't be too hard on him. Don't chase him off just yet.
With you, my brother.
Oh man, not much. Had to get in. You know, it's been a long time since I had time on a Monday.
Welcome back, my brother.
Hey,
yes, indeed. We just got a bunch of new faces coming these days. I love it. But no, that was, like I said, the biggest thing for me is like Steph's performances. Like sometimes you maybe get caught up in the narratives. Like his career points per game in the finals is what it's been. But just the way in which he's dissecting this defense, when we saw what Giannis went through, we saw what Kevin Durant and Boston went through, we saw Jimmy Butler would look great and then he would look absolutely atrocious. Tyler Hero was basically a no-show. And I credit a lot of that to this defense.
For sure.
When it comes to Steph and somebody that's having to shoot from distance and he's shooting almost 50% from three in the finals, like that's amazing. And so that's really probably been the biggest surprise, just how well he's played. I will say it's also not as surprising, but very surprising that given how well he's played, it's a 2-2 series. Like I would have expected they would be 3-1, maybe even a sweep if he's putting up these numbers with the rest of the team around him. But he just hasn't had many people going along for the ride, especially not from a scoring standpoint. So I'm surprised we're here. I'm still hanging in. I know I was trying to get Dev to come off his Warriors and six.
This game will determine my prediction right here.
No, sir. No, you gotta stay. You gotta stand. You had your chance to flip. You can't flip now. You gotta stay.
I ain't flipping.
He said this gives him validation. He got you can't even see the finish line without this one.
If Golden State can pull this out, I swear, man, this is gonna be like the second or third time I gave y'all right predictions, So I'm gonna just go ahead. I'm gonna sit back though, I'm gonna let it marinate just a little bit.
All right. Well, you're off to a good start here in Game 5. So, I mean, my Boston is 7 still on the table too, so I ain't worried. And even if they lost tonight, I wouldn't be worried.
Stop lying.
Boston they hadn't lost a back-to-back games in the playoffs. I definitely don't think they're about to lose 3 in a row. And then it will come down to a Game 7.
You don't want to keep using that N-word, man. That never. That never is just.
It's true until it ain't.
That you got that one, but I would take that never word out though.
Okay. So we definitely gonna see.
My thing is this though, as far as my takeaway for Game 4 is Andrew Wiggins. As much as Boston was able to capitalize and neutralize basically Draymond's head, that's what was neutralized. Draymond Green's head was neutralized. It wasn't even his gameplay. He affected his own gameplay. Like he didn't even want to take shots. He was pulling shots covered, not taking shots open. Like Draymond was just off every which way, defensively, offensively, the whole 9 yards. But the one thing that to me that I took out of it the most was Andrew Wiggins, because there was a time period in the third and the beginning of the fourth quarter where Clay wasn't really doing nothing. Draymond was turning the ball over, getting fouls called on him. He was out of it. They didn't want to play Looney at that time because Boston was moving the pace too much, and they were kind of stuck because they had to rest Clay. Steph. They knew Steph was going to have to close it out the way he did. So Andrew being able to step up at that time to me was the biggest of it all. And for him to have 16 rebounds Forget the scoring, forget the defending, forget everything else. A wing player on Golden State has 16 rebounds in a game that Draymond Green was taken out of. That is why they won that game. Because they worked so hard to take Draymond out of it. And then you turn around and Andrew Wiggins gets 16 boards. Like, Draymond don't have to play. He don't have to play because usually Andrew's going to get what, 6, 7 boards. He might come out and give you 20 points on a game, or that's not far fetched. But for him to come off with 16 and 17, that was what I took from it. And I'll be honest with you, from a defensive standpoint, Boston played immaculate defense. They played immaculate defense that whole game to me. They were able to guard Steph with 4 players at a time, three and 4 players at a time, and still be able to make up ground to where Golden State wasn't shooting open shots. When Steph was passing out of them, quadruple doubles, they weren't getting open shots. So it was just a great team defensive effort, and I'm hoping that the way that Andrew Wiggins and the way that Steph and then were able to close it out, I'm hoping that don't put no dagger in that and pop that balloon that, Boston has on defense right now.
All right, so I'm going to ask y'all a question that was broached by Jay in his statement about Andrew Wiggins. So Golden State has some decisions to make in this offseason. They got some money decisions. If they are able to win this finals with the way Clay and Draymond has played, does that make it significantly easier? Does that impact them potentially looking to move both of those guys for younger or better talent?
Somebody playing a game for something.
Yeah, we couldn't hear all of your questions.
I think it was Jay. I was asking, given the progression of Wiggins, even Poole, and as well as Steph has played, if they are able to win this finals with the way Clay and Draymond have played, does it make it more likely that they will try and move them for maybe younger or better pieces to continue this group? I'll start with you, Kenny.
I think regardless of whether they want to lose, they're gonna still have to make those decisions. And I think that the odd man out is gonna be Klay Thompson, because I think you have a younger, athlete, just as athletic, nowhere near the shooter that Klay is, but probably as good a defender as Klay is in terms of Andrew Wiggins. So I think you get younger. You may be cheaper. I'm not for sure with their contracts, how their contracts compare. But I think you may be cheaper as well. Going with Andrew Wiggins, and then you got some other young guys, waiting in the ranks, the Moses Moody's, the Kumingas of the world, and those guys that you gotta, see what you got in those guys, and especially Kuminga. I think he's flashed some talent, so I think they're gonna really have to make that decision whether they win or lose. And if I'm Golden State, I'm probably gonna go younger as opposed to sticking with the core.
Okay. Dev, what you think?
I don't really see Clay going anywhere. I don't really see Clay will be a max player. He will be a max player for another team because another team, will love his shooting ability, what he's capable of doing. But if he's looking to stay in Golden State and stay with Steph, I don't think he's going to get that max deal from Golden State. I think they keep giving him like a 2-year deal, just to,
I think he's already. That's what I'm saying. He's already under contract, so it's just a matter of them. It's the cap situation that they're going to have to shed some of that salary in order to.
Yeah, and I don't think they would. I don't think they would get rid of Clay though. I think they will probably more than likely shop those younger players first, before they would try to shop Clay. Because, Clay, it's not like he's done or finished. You know what I mean? I just think that 2-year rust is what we are seeing now. I just think that's what it is. And I just don't see them getting rid of Clay. You know what I mean? I
That
think
guy in LA said he liked playing with Steph, and if you could play with anybody,
that ain't happening, Doug.
I'm just saying
that ain't happening.
Hey,
would
if
work.
he pulls off, if he gets Kyrie, Russ, AD, D Wade, Chris Bosh,
come on, man.
Come on,
how many
bro.
guys you want?
Bad. What else he gonna get? Carmelo coming out of retirement. Gary Payton coming back.
Yeah, man,
They gonna do that.
man.
They gonna y'all saw that list they put out, the 10 players that you would want to get a championship. He gonna start calling people off the list. Charles, AI. I mean, man.
I mean, the money's there. What's the
Is
downside?
it?
Ray, really though? You were just talking about cutting Clay, but you will go ahead and bring on how money LeBron though.
Their contracts are, we'll see, but I'm sure their contracts are probably comparable. But I'm about to check it out.
No,
I mean,
I don't like Ray method today, man. I don't know what's going on.
What's wrong with my method? It makes too much sense.
So you telling me? Now you know how LeBron like to kind of get rid of players.
kind of.
LeBron would understand for the first time in his life.
All right, LeBron locker room.
Let me take my statement back. Jay, you right. You know how LeBron like to get rid of players,
especially for vets.
You know what I mean? You know he gonna get rid of. He gonna get rid of
players to get rid of right
He
now.
gonna get rid of Draymond. He gonna get rid of Iggy.
He gonna get rid of
LeBron ain't going over here.
He
gonna
gonna
get rid of Gary Payton.
Draymond. They work together. They love each other. He said he would love to have custom matches with Draymond.
Wait. Are you intending that LeBron would go to LA? I mean, go to State?
Yeah.
Absolutely
straight up.
not.
Yeah,
No.
I don't think there's no way.
There's no package. There's
His
no
family's
package.
in California. He's still in California.
No. I want you to understand something.
Jeannie already knows it's
The
she's
Lakers
on
is
borrowed
not
time.
looking to rebuild like that,
Any team.
If you can get Clay and maybe Poole or Wiseman,
Golden State ain't
their
giving up
contracts
Clay.
are almost like LeBron is making. He's averaging 42 million. Clay is averaging 37, 38. So it's
Wiseman
in
in
the
there.
neighborhood.
Clay and Wiseman and
No.
There's
Number
one thing-
one, you're not
there's
gonna
one
have
thing-
I don't see it
AD
happening.
and
I'm just saying
Wiseman
that you can
who
make it
can't
work.
play,
If
who
you
can't
want-
stay
if they
healthy
wanted to
playing.
make the deal,
No.
they can make it work.
Yeah, did
That's
you
all
say
I
put
would
AD
say.
and Wiseman on the same team?
That's what Ray talking about.
Do you know they trade? Man, they be no.
That is a young backcourt you can build around. What do you mean?
A young backcourt that can't even stay
Guys
healthy.
that you got question right. You got
Right, you gonna have a fix-a-flat can in every practice.
No. He's cheap, and if it doesn't work, you still got Clay. You believe in Clay.
No, he done had 2 broken knees.
He's good. The injuries are out the way.
You are talking about
That's the big assumption.
Hey Ray, you can go ahead and watch that
that's
Space
a
Jam
big
team,
assumption.
Right.
You know what I mean, and hopefully
not
that
that
dream
stuff is
team
a
come
nurse.
about, man.
I hear
Hey,
you.
Rich is trying to stir the pot
Look,
up. That's all that
Ray,
is.
That's
Look,
all
this
he's
is-
doing is stirring. It
But
ain't
to your
gonna never be
question,
cooked up.
For
Okay.
me, to your question, for me, I don't think Clay, I don't think Dre, and I don't think Steph will ever get traded. I think that there's something that is rare in Golden State that we have yet to see again, is homegrown.
But they're gonna have to
And-
take
Yeah,
discounts.
but
on
how
something.
long? But Jay, how long do you can only be loyal for so long? At some point, business gets in the way.
No, it only gets in the way if the other party doesn't say, all right, it's my turn to give back. And Clay has to take a pay cut.
He can't. He already signed.
He
his
already
deal.
locked in.
No. We can renegotiate. We can renegotiate.
No, you cannot. It's a
Yes, we
guaranteed
can.
contract.
That doesn't
His
mean
contract
nothing.
ain't up till 2024. I just looked it up. So they stuck
But that don't mean nothing.
What
See,
you
because
mean?
They can renegotiate
This
the
ain't the
contract.
NFL, Jay. This ain't the NFL. You can't renegotiate no NBA contract.
But I don't think
it's fine.
Jay, the players union would never allow that.
Yeah,
okay, but even without the renegotiation,
unless they do like a stretch, a Luol Deng type of situation, that's about it.
They could do something like that. But even without the renegotiation portion, I think that Steph is under contract till when?
2024.
I think he got
2024.
2 or 3
years. Got 2 years left.
Clay's at what?
He's got his deal is 5 years, 189 million.
That was last year or this year?
I'm looking, it's his 5 years, 189 million. Hold on, I can break down this cap number. Just give me 1 second.
No, when is he up?
So his cap number for next year is 40 million, and then the following year is 43 million.
So they're both up at the end of next year.
He's got 2 more. Yeah, they're both up. Well,
and then Dre, where's Dre at? When is he up?
LeBron is 2 years, 85.
When's Dre up?
Oh, I gotta look. Hold on.
Hold on, pull up too.
I think Dre got a couple of years left too. They might be
Say,
done at the same
Lakers
time.
might-
Around the same time.
They might be done at the same time.
Okay.
But
See, then
I'll
that's
just look it
perfect.
up right now.
So look, we
Yep,
got
they're both done. They both done in 2024.
okay. So you still got Jordan Poole on rookie still, or did he just get a new contract?
No,
He's
on
rookie.
deal.
He is his second year because he was in the G
so
League
you
all
still got
last year.
2 years of Poole on rookie.
Mhm. Yep.
You still got 2 or 3
years.
years of Kaminga.
Yep.
You still
2
got
years
2 years of Wiseman.
Wiseman.
You still
Yeah,
got
you got a
so
point there.
even if they don't
they
move,
could run it back if they wanted to. You're right.
even if they don't move now. But to Ray's question, I don't think they're going to run it back with the same team. But I think to what you were kind of leaning towards earlier, Kenny, I think these guys actually get moved, and I don't want it to be like that.
That's not their culture though.
It's not, but
neither is trading Draymond or Clay.
Right, and then Looney, I think also gets moved because
I think
Looney,
he's free this year. I think he's just going to get a bag.
No, he's gonna get a sign and trade because
he's gonna get it from somewhere else.
Yeah,
he's gonna get a sign and trade.
Definitely be a casualty.
He's earned his money. He's gonna go.
Right.
But and see, Golden State has always kind of been smart with the way they get rid of their free agents. They don't just let them walk. They get something for them, a second round pick, something. They always do some type of sign and trade. There always is some 3-team trade.
D'Angelo Russell into
right. So I really think that Looney's gonna get on a sign and trade tip. I think Kuminga might get packaged somewhere, and then you got Andrew Wiggins. He's gone. And Andrew Wiggins.
I think they like Wiggins.
Yeah,
they do, but you can't keep everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. That was my point.
I think Looney.
I think Iggy gonna be gone.
Looney are gone. I think he might just call it quits. But,
Iggy gonna be gone. Looney gonna be gone.
Yeah, Looney gone. But Iggy don't make enough money to matter.
Well, maybe you might be on to something, Jay. You might be on to something. No, you might be on to something with Wiggins because he's up after next year.
See, that's expiring contract. He got to go.
But how old Wiggins is significantly younger. I think you extend Wiggins, not Clay.
I agree.
No, that's
you
logical.
already stuck with K. You stuck with
that's logical, Ray.
Because you said he has one, so he would have the one, and then they would all be in their last year next year. And I think they would extend him, and then
because
move. They to Jay's point, they would sign and trade Clay and or Draymond somewhere.
Right, because
they can't give them back deals again.
Because you figure because you gotta think about you're building that next core of your
and
team.
You already got their replacements on the team.
That's what I'm saying. So you got a vet, you got the vet in Wiggins, and then you got the young guys that you could surround around him. You know, the Pools, the Wisemans, and the Kumingas. So you got a team that you could still be competitive and still, potentially be in contention moving forward. After,
how much is history
Clay and
worth?
those guys and Steph and those guys, you kind of move off the scene.
How much is history worth? Because that's what I think they're going after. I think at this point, it's like, how much can we get out of this dynasty? Not even like what's going to happen after. It's how much can we, you know what I'm saying? They got to roll and squeeze the toothpaste out of this one. Like, that's why I see it. That's why I see it as them moving Looney and moving Wiggins and keeping Clay and Draymond and Steph, because they're trying to itch record books here. Like,
but with one more win, they'll have the most wins as a trio. So they'll have that. They'll have 4 rings together. What do you think? They'll try and go for 6, 7?
Yeah. You got to go for 6.
I just don't think. I think the money's not going to make sense in a year.
It's not. It don't make sense. I don't know how they did it now.
Yeah, I just think they're going to just totally restack the decks, because you think about it, you're going to have upwards of $50 million in cap space with Clay and Draymond.
But y'all also got to factor in that same time frame is when all these rookies will be up. So you're going to have to pay Poole, Kuminga, Moody, potentially. I think this is his second year. So you're going to also have to pay all of them with that free money that's going to come about.
True.
Now,
But I don't think you're going to have to allocate all of that money to those guys. You can still
that's when the pay cuts come.
Free agent, you know what I'm saying?
That's when Draymond and Clay, we got to look them in the eyes and say how much longer you planning on playing? Because if we got to take a pay cut, or you got to go.
Well, the pay cut ain't happening, but you could say that extension thing. You could be like, look, after these 2 years, it's been real, but we're gonna have to go ahead and move in this
And I think
direction.
because of the culture there, it allows the grace for that. Like, I don't think Clay or Draymond would be slighted. Like, we stuck with y'all from the beginning. And I think it was when Clay was up for his second deal. I think he might have got that when he was hurt.
When he tore his ACL. Yep. He absolutely did.
So, I mean, I think you got equity there to say for the betterment of the Bay Area and whatever their slogan are, like, you always gonna be that. But we can't give you $30 million a year at 36
with no knees.
Right. You can't play defense and you can't really run around.
Hey, and it's messed up too, because that was Clay's game. Is that perimeter deep?
But you think about it though, after all of that time, they all have been there, 11, 12 years. So they've been more than loyal to those guys. So
they'll have a retirement home. They'll give them
they get their numbers retired. Their numbers going up in the rafters. They're gonna be definitely, revered in terms of being all-time greats, especially in that city. They ain't gonna never have to pay for a meal again, probably.
Yeah. They ain't gotta pay for a meal now.
That's what I'm just saying. They ain't ever gonna have to pay for a meal.
Yes, indeed. Steph misses a free throw. I don't understand what's going on with that, but he's out to a slow start. Only 4 points in the first quarter.
That's a great sign though for the Warriors, because they up 10 points.
Right.
Yeah.
But they missing free throws. Like this, you giving points away. This is when you should be burying Boston, and they know better. So Boston ain't gonna keep shooting this bad.
They said if Boston ain't figure out that third quarter remedy yet, then.
But why even need that? Like, Boston's playing awful. They're missing shots. Y'all just you don't do this with young teams.
But you know how the Warriors is when they got something in their back pocket. What was that year when they was like, we was bored, so we let teams
73-9 year.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Hopefully they ain't thinking like that now, because this is a different team. But you know how the Warriors think.
Honestly, though, Boston don't really. They're playing well. Don't get me wrong. They're playing championship basketball, but they don't really have a high power offense. They either are clicking or they're not. And I think that
players that can go off, but offense in itself
is not a high
really
power.
Only
offense.
2 guys that
Marcus Smart can have a game.
Marcus
Smart is like your Derek Fisher. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
We can take that.
You know what I mean? He can
I respect that.
He can kind of manage. He can get you the shots that you kind of need.
When you show up for a game. And
you know what I mean? But
they're all due. If that's and so,
but do you expect that to happen again on the road though?
But see, that's the other thing too.
I think I think they've already had that great game on the road.
That's what I'm saying.
Happening again.
But I think when they get back, this next Boston game, that arena is going to be on fire. If it's a closeout game either way.
Especially if they down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think.
Well, I mean, either way, they're gonna be on fire.
I think you'll get the best out of.
They're gonna be on fire.
Yeah, I think you'll get the best in that scenario out of their bench for once. They'll put it all together. But we talked about Clay as being a trade target. At least I think they should move him. Clay finally had a decent game. He had a great fourth quarter, given how he's played this series. He's come out tonight. He got 5 points. He hit a shot, hit a three. Do we think that we are getting Clay of old back? Is it just it's taking time to recover from the injury and he's going to progressively get better? Or is this the new reality for Klay Thompson? I'll start with you, Dev.
I think, like I said before, we just seen a 2-year rush and it's going to take some time. You know, he only played, 37 games in the regular season, and then, he played, how many games in the playoffs. So I think it's just him taking some time. The wheels gonna start clicking. You know what I mean? Especially if you get you can go through a training camp with your whole core together and, find a rhythm early and start that season off, him starting the season off. That's probably what he's waiting for, to start that opening game. You start the opening game, whether it's bad or good, it's just like that's one goal I started is I'm on the opening game. I started, I'm healthy, and you know what I mean? Because Clay is one of them guys that if his mind is not in it, he's having a off whatever, you know what I mean? So
I feel like they all are in Golden State. I feel like Golden State very emotional driven.
Yeah. So if they get that, mind right and they can all gel together during the summer, I think Clay we will see probably not what we years ago, Clay. Yeah, I think age will come to a factor at some point, but I think we'll see at least 75% of Clay again next year.
Okay. Jay, your thoughts? Is Clay back?
He ain't back yet. I mean,
so you think there's a better version of Clay still to come? This isn't him.
We won't ever see old Clay, but we're gonna see a different Clay. I think that Clay has the ability to play another 10 years, man. He's one of the best set shooters we've seen in a long time. And set shooters don't need a lot of movement in reality. Kyle Korver did it with, man, he stayed in the same spot for 2 games.
Mike Miller.
Mike Miller. And Mike Miller. Yeah, and Mike Miller, even like you said, Mike Miller had a bad back, and Mike Miller would still try to get down. JJ Redick, we can go on and on about him. The real set shooters. I mean, look at Dale Curry. He sat in that corner, man, and just waited. Glenn Rice extended his career. Antoine Jameson, Rashard Lewis. I can go on, man. So, and I think Klay Thompson is a better shooter, minus Dale Curry, than most of those people I said. So, you know what I mean? Like, I really think Klay could play 10 more years if he changes his game to just being a set shooter and in not trying to prove that he can still go to the basket. He can still be athletic. And yeah, dude, you got 2 knees missing. And I say that respectfully as much as I can.
Leave my man knees alone.
It's the Achilles.
No, the other one, we can tell the other one ain't right now. We can tell that's worse. That's worse because the Achilles is worse because you do not want to jump, and that's what I mean. Like I think at the end of the day, though, Klay next year is not going to have to prove anything. Next year, it's not going to be in his head that I need to come on the court and show these guys I can play basketball. Next year is going to be back into the flow of the offense because that's another thing. To your point, Dev, when Klay came back, it wasn't like Golden State was struggling. It wasn't like they like, oh man, I was waiting on Klay. I didn't know how he was gonna make it out the basement. No. So Klay had to come in and make sure he didn't interrupt or disrupt what was already going on there. So that's another thing that was in the back of his mind. And we all agree Golden State's an emotional driven team. So I think when those nerves are gone, and like Dev said, he gets a training camp, he gets a summer league in with the guys, he's in the gym playing pickup ball with everybody, and those type of things happen. I think he comes back next year and we see a better shooting Clay, which is scary.
Okay. I think we're all watching the game. I wanted to get y'all thoughts on this before we kind of go to the next topic. They look like what I'm watching, they're letting them play. I'm seeing a lot of collision, a lot of physical contact. And it's surprising to me that the Warriors seem to be handling the pressure better. Like Golden State to me is the team by all accounts, and Boston was supposed to be the gritty, tough team. And I think we talked about this on here. Maybe I think it was a show about them not really having tough guys. But I am surprised to see it seems like even this Draymond play. I don't know if you guys have that. Like,
that's what I was wondering about.
Toughing Boston, and that surprises me. But we'll see what comes of it.
That's because
go ahead.
That's the experience coming out. You know what I mean? That's why I said once Boston had made it to the finals, if we're going against Golden State, I was like, I like Boston. They got the good players. They got the matchup that fits them better, but that experience is kind of more important when it comes to these type of games. And the Warriors know if they can take this game right here, they like me and Jay saying, they mentally saying like, look, this can be it right here. Yep. This can be it. So that's all.
And that's the other thing too, man. If you look around the league the last 2-3 years of the guys that have been in this Eastern Conference and Western Conference final positions, I can point to at least one or two guys on the court and say, hey, if things get rattled, this dude's going to take over. This dude's going to go ahead and step up, because I've seen it before from some of these guys. When we look at this Boston team, they don't have, you what are you going to call Al Horford? Al Horford don't even have that as veteranized as he is. So you don't have that guy that's been in the finals, that's been in the Eastern Conference Finals, that's been in closeout games like this, that have those, all right, you guys, let me take over for a second. We're getting rattled. Calm down. Let's run it this way. So that's another thing. And to the physicality thing, that physicality stuff only works when you're ahead. You can't be overly physical, start picking up fouls, and even though they're letting them play right now, you can't be doing that when you're behind. So that's why it's looking good for Golden State right now, because they're ahead.
And this the type of transition Golden State likes. They like the up and down, you know what I mean, the back and forth. You know, Boston, if they only want to lock you in the half court, you know, if they can't get you in the half court, then, you know, they don't want to have no track.
And Draymond out there pinching people, hitting them in the sky. You know what I'm saying? This is Draymond's basketball. Like, this is what he likes to do.
Full Nelsons.
Right. Draymond out there having fun.
Like a Monday Night Raw out there.
It's when they start calling fouls on Draymond, he be going out his mind.
Yeah.
But Marcus Smart is, you know, trying to get down there. He's doing the Derek Fisher dirty work a little bit.
Yeah, he's starting to he's being more aggressive. But I just want to say real quick on Clay. I think the other important thing about why we'll see a better Clay next year is because he'll have a summer where he doesn't have to rehab. All he has to do is just work on his game and work on his skills. So I think that's going to make a big difference, and get himself in peak physical condition, because we know that he's not in peak physical condition.
No, he's not in peak physical condition at all. Not right now. Not right now.
We'll see if he can get it together. But I did want to speak on Boston. I know we talked a lot about Golden State tonight. And right now we got Jaylen Brown at 4 points on 2 of 9 shooting. We got Jason Tatum at 8 points on 4 of 5 shooting. By all accounts, I believe most trackers I've seen had Jaylen Brown ahead of Jason Tatum in the MVP voting for the finals. But then also Jason Tatum was first team All-NBA. I think people may have forgotten what he was ranked based on the way he's playing. But in this series, in this 3-game series that they have left, who would you guys say is more valuable, Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum? I'll start with you, Jay.
Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum has, you know what? I know he has nothing to do with this, but I have to talk about him because he reminds me, these two remind me so much of each other. Brandon Ingram and Jason Tatum have had a budding playoffs. And Jason Tatum obviously went further. But those two have just shown so much more to their game this year. The takeover ability that Jason Tatum has shown has been amazing. And there's just certain guys out there, man, that you can't guard. He reminds me when Paul Pierce would go off in the playoffs, where you just seen him play like that all year, and then all of a sudden, ain't nothing anyone on the court can do. Hands in the face, pulling his pants, it don't matter. Paul Pierce is going to just do it. And that's what I'm starting to see from Jason Tatum slowly, throughout the playoffs, throughout this year as a whole. I started to see that a lot from him. And he's way more valuable than Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown don't play defense like Jason Tatum. He's not as long as Jason Tatum. He has matchup, he creates more matchup issues for people. Yeah, Jason Tatum.
I'll go to you, Dev. Who do you feel is more valuable to Boston at this point, Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum?
I'm going to agree with Jay. It's going to be Tatum. I just think right now, Jason Tatum is suffering the Jimmy Butler syndrome. He might be gassed out. You got to think, he didn't play KD. He didn't play Giannis. He didn't play Jimmy Butler. And now you coming on here and you playing run and gun Warriors. You know what I mean? I think he might be tapped just a little bit. And I think that's what's really affecting this game. And like I said about Brown, he got to stop flashing. He can't be a first half flasher and then thinking like, oh, we up 10. I don't have to score no more. It's like, nah, dog. You didn't scrap your way to get 26. You telling me you want to take a break? You could have had 46. Like you and Tatum both of y'all can be averaging 40. It's been done before. You know what I mean? So Tatum is just more valuable. I just think he just tapped. And now you got Andrew Wiggins sitting here chasing you, being a little physical, and you know what I mean, that's gonna kind of wear you down also on his offensive tip. So Tatum is more valuable, but he just won, in my opinion.
Kenny?
Yeah, I agree with the guys. I think Tatum is more valuable, but I think it's a lot closer than you guys are saying because while he may not close games per se, he keeps them in games.
Yeah,
so that's important.
Who, Jaylen?
Yeah. Those first quarter starts are important because, like we already said, that the Warriors, they're a streak team. They want to get out and go. They want to go on these spurts. So the fact that he's able to kind of stem the tide, and I think that's important. I think the other thing too is that he has taken a personal. He's taking it personal that whenever Draymond Green is guarding him, like he wants that matchup. Yes. He wants all of that smoke. Like, yo, if they switch me and Draymond, get out the way because I'm going to work. Like you could tell that he does not think that Draymond Green can guard him at all. So I just think that the two of them, I think they're going to be a combination that we're going to see in 10 to 7 to 10 years from now, that we're going to talk about them as being one of the better combinations that we ever see, better duos that we've ever seen in the league. Like we're gonna be talking about them, with the Steph and the Clays and the even the Shaq and Kobe.
I was going to say you can put them in the Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah,
and
I think so.
MJ and
think
so. You're saying
they're both ascending. I don't think we've seen them. I don't think we've seen them hit their prime. I don't think we have
Shaq and Kobe.
I have a question though. I think
they both can average 25 a game, Jay. I mean, right? Easily.
I have a question for you.
I think they both could average 25 a game.
So Kenny, let me ask you this.
I see it, but I just don't think Jalen can. I see the 25. I see what you're talking about, Kenny, but Jalen have to have that takeover mentality also a little bit. You can't be that.
But other guys got to get shots too. You also got to, make sure that other guys are getting touches as well. It can't just be because that was the issue early on in the season that it was,
right.
It was your turn, my turn with him and Tatum. So
I still see that in the fourth quarter. Just like last week in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the offense does break down. I agree.
Man, no foul.
It's not even that it breaks down. I feel like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum will come across the line, come across half court, and look at each other and decide right there, all right, which one of us gonna take it this possession. And I think that is the problem. They don't flow well in fourth quarter offense, them two, because they don't know who should close out. And maybe that's maturity and time and all that stuff, but I can still see them scoring 25 points a game. But I don't see them Shaq and Kobe it because Shaq and Kobe's turned them 25 points a game in the championship. So I think that's what's going to separate.
Battling for one right now.
They definitely are.
The other thing is that I think the byproduct of the offense is breaking down is the fact that they don't have a true point guard. Like,
yeah,
that. That's the shortcoming to me of Marcus Smart is that he's not the playmaker that they need him to be. So,
like, see that pass just through to Robert Williams?
But can I ask you a tag on that? Because I think Marcus
Smart that like once a game, though.
No.
Yeah.
That's my problem. Like, why can't you do that 7-8 times a game?
Because the ball's in Tatum and Brown's hands so much. He said earlier in this year.
That's also going to come with coaching, though.
Right.
That's what going to come with his coaching.
But if he was that guy that could do that on a consistent basis, you don't think the ball would be in his hands more?
No, not with those two players on the court.
Yeah,
they're both dominant.
You're Russell
dominant ball handlers. Yeah, they're both dominant ball handlers. Like Jason Tatum is he's turned into
I think they're in isolation out of necessity, though. I think it's out of necessity more so because
I think that's how you get the best out of them is when they can spread the floor, go one-on-one, and get their buckets.
So but again, it's got to be a balance to that because yes, you do have you're going to have
isolation,
but then it's also got to be moments of where you're running offense or you're running sets. And to me, I don't think that they have the guy.
It's similar. His role similar to Drew Holiday's in Milwaukee. You got two.
Drew Holiday initiates offense for Milwaukee, though.
And Drew Holiday controls the ball a lot more than.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But that's because they want Giannis to play off the ball because he's not as great of a shooter. Jason Tatum brings the ball up a lot. That's why
he's a better playmaker, though. Drew Holiday's a better playmaker. That's why he has the ball in his hands.
I agree.
I think if Smart was a better playmaker, he would have the ball in his hands more.
But you got to also add in that Chris Middleton's a great off-ball player, and Jaylen Brown wants the ball too. So you got to add that part in. And I think that a lot of Boston
is a better off-ball player than Tatum is.
Yeah, that's not an argument at all. But that's not an argument at all. I just think they both like the ball a lot. And that, if you were just in the comparison of the Drew Holiday situation, they got Chris Middleton instead at that spot. So Chris Middleton's he plays off the ball. He prefers to play off the ball. So I would put that on there. But I also think that Boston lacks a true skilled big man to me. And I think that would also, yes.
Y'all disrespecting old Al like that?
Oh my! Hey Ray, go ahead, put your mic on mute, man. Put your mic on mute.
I said skilled, bro.
So he said it
right. I don't think Al Horford is skilled.
No.
There wasn't no Freudian slip.
Don't do me like that, right? You know what skills I'm talking about.
Young skilled center.
No, he ain't Jokic or Embiid, but I think he's a pretty skilled big man.
See, if we was talking Jokic and
Embiid, can't have 5 max players.
10 years ago, he was.
Right. And even then, he was a power forward. He wasn't no center.
Okay. He played center.
He played center in Atlanta because you remember they had Josh Smith playing power forward.
Oh, Josh
But
Smith.
they wasn't. Neither one of them was supposed to be. Josh Smith was supposed to be at the 3. They had that squad.
But they had Marvin Williams.
They had the squad totally messed up.
But hey, that's what Atlanta and Bud. It was that Milwaukee's coach now. He had that team during that time.
Yeah. But
and he had old ass Mike Bibby.
Yeah, he did have
They were
Mike
cycling
Bibby.
them through there in Atlanta.
But you
Yeah.
give
Jeff
Yeah,
had a
yeah,
young
yeah,
Jeff
Ronda
team.
went through
Horrible.
twice.
They had a bunch of guys they were cycling through there.
yeah, he did. But
So
you give Boston just a athletic big, and Marcus Smart can handle the ball more.
Robert Williams is athletic. What do you mean?
Robert Williams
Well,
is
I
not
think-
big, man.
I think to me, you get a guy that
I don't think they need
that can score in the post. I think
Yeah.
more so than
I would agree with that.
yeah.
A
I
skilled
think
big man. A skilled big man.
Right.
I,
Everything
Okay.
Al Horford is not right now.
Yeah, Al Horford is not skilled for the big man
We were just
position.
talking about the man getting.
y'all just saw that three he hit.
Bro.
We're not-
Hey, we're not gonna
Y'all
act like
is
we
killing my man Clay Reeves. Y'all is killing Al Horford. Hey,
and he couldn't even score in the paint.
God.
This guy
Hey,
is too
did y'all
much,
see
man.
that? Did y'all see that baseline in the air pass that he did last week? I honestly thought that was the end of his career. I thought he was coming down and shattering his ankles, bro. I thought it was over. When he put his knees to his chest, I said, "Oh my God,
Jay coming back
somebody-
emptying his clip.
man!"
Right.
Yes,
Man,
God,
coming
yo.
back shooting.
The end of his career.
Shooters.
I thought it was over. I thought it was over.
He ain't gonna say that. He ain't gonna
This
say the
man been
season.
reserving. He been
I dialed 9-1 and was just waiting. Hold on. Oh, he landed. He landed. All right, let me let him go.
Safe landed, huh?
Yeah, man. Emergency landing gear came out and everything.
My man had the airbags and everything popped out.
Bruh, when his knees came up though, and he did this, I said, "Oh, ow. Oh, I know that hurt."
Hey, that's what BioFreeze and Ben Gay for, man. You see Shaq was gonna put it on
Man,
his
no.
elbows.
Icy hot.
Yeah, get them checks.
Bro,
But
these guys is missing a lot of free throws tonight. Both teams.
Man, nobody won it. That's why nobody
They
don't want it.
rattled, bro. They rattled.
It's gonna come down to who wants it more. Who makes the
that baby face guy just kind of hanging out. See, we're gonna see if he put his imprint on the game.
man? That boy, you got my man Wiggins. He gonna be second. He playing so hard. He might have to get Finals MVP, man.
Chill. He ain't playing that hard.
Don't do
So,
that.
I have a
Don't even
question.
start
though.
that.
I have a question though, because
Go
we
ahead,
were
Jay.
talking a little bit about Bron earlier and the Warriors thing. I think that's not going to happen, but I have a question. Bron is very business savvy. Probably one of the. I think business wise, he was probably accelerated compared to other players in the past in his same age.
I mean, he's a billionaire, so we can.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
Mhm.
Michael Jordan's a great businessman, but he didn't have to work.
Billy,
You know what I mean? So, but could you guys see LeBron owning a team within 3 to 5 years of him actually leaving the NBA?
Oh, for sure. He already said he wants to. He wants to bring his team.
3 to 5
Yes.
years.
Yes.
I think what people
Who's gonna turn him
forget-
down?
But it takes money.
He got $1 billion.
Yeah, but that's not.
But you get a couple of partners.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's gonna get a couple parts.
Jay-Z already waiting.
You got to also understand.
Your
like,
boy
Everybody
Kanye.
you got to have a certain amount of liquid money, and
Your
so
boy
look,
Kanye.
Look, every
Yeah,
drug dealer in the
Kanye.
world, everybody is coming out, man. Everybody wants to be a part of that deal. I even want to be a part of that
bring
deal.
everybody in, or you don't.
And
own
then, of course, you get one of them venture capitalists from the from
Yeah,
Silicon
they go-
Valley to be the face.
They gonna
of
have to go to
investment group.
Silicon
That's all.
Valley,
You
bro,
just gotta
because
have
They're gonna
investment
make
group.
LeBron a face. They gonna
I'm
like,
gonna tell
nah,
y'all right now,
LeBron
if Kanye
is a face.
West is on the list of owners in the NBA, gonna throw it in the trash. They gonna be like,
What? Listen, we don't come on here. This is a Freddie
Oh,
impact.
you got messed up now. Don't talk about Kanye.
Hey, I'm not talking about Ye. I'm not talking about Ye. I'm telling you right now, the
That's a
NBA,
no.
the NBA ain't letting that happen.
Don't do it.
They is
my brother.
not
Don't do
letting
it.
that.
Money
happen.
talks. He is.
Not-
We
he
gonna
ain't got
see.
enough-
Kanye Westlander
Kanye
is
money.
not allowed.
Kanye money ain't good. The NBA will not let him be an NBA team owner. Do you
Look,
know the meetings? What do you know what the meetings would be like?
Money
They be-
is
See,
a lot
did you
better
see
than they
that
are.
man
Money.
coming in the meeting with the mask he wore in the Super Bowl?
Innovative.
Like, could y'all imagine that meeting?
Hey, can you imagine? Man, no,
Or
Kanye
the boots
West
he was just
is
wearing
not
not too
allowed
long
to own an
ago?
NBA team.
Oh,
I
that's
would,
what
I
need
would like
Freddie
it
in right now
because
to
I would
put that
wonder what
visual on.
what like the uniforms would be like.
I mean, he
What
has
kind of
gone to
shoes?
sports. You see his basketball team.
Hey,
Some
yo,
cars
but
he
not
getting.
for nothing though. No, real talk though. That the Don the sports marketing
It's
thing,
nice.
it seems like it's picking up some steam. He's starting to sign athletes. So
No, Donda's. Hey, I mess with Kanye business wise. That's dope. Kanye does a lot of things. He's very, very smart. The NBA ain't having it.
All
don't
you gotta
know.
say is Adidas and Gap, and they'll be like, "All right, we
No,
got."
they already got Adidas.
right, he can look at
They already got
he
Nike.
can just show he can show his portfolio and be like,
That's what I'm saying.
his portfolio can say that
I
he
don't think-
deserves an opportunity.
When you look at who Kanye runs around with, those are the people that he
I'm
would
about
have
to say he could pull
convince.
Elon Musk into the
Like,
group. Like he got some-
Elon,
Those
Elon
people
has a
view
chance
him.
before him. But look, guys, you gotta understand. NBA.
He got Donald. He got that Donald stamp hanging in the back.
Stop.
Hey, he got that Donald stamp. He got that Elon stamp.
I don't think that's stamp. I don't think that's stamp certified right now.
That's a watermark. It got washed off or something, man. Because
Y'all,
it ain't working.
Hey, y'all.
Kanye-
We ain't a political
They-
party.
Andrew Wiggins is on his way of having a double rebound
Hey,
in the game again.
Can you imagine?
As he
Can you
should.
imagine? Can you imagine the owner of the Mavericks, and he goes and does that stint he did over in Dubai with the full blown robe, and he had the whole. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Hey,
And then he had the game the next day.
money talks.
It does.
Money
They gonna put a black blur over his whole section at the game. Like
The team jerseys will be black. We know that.
they gonna be like, oh, that's the
Oh,
Kanye West
man.
section. He had a thing this weekend. We just gonna blur that out.
I do want to ask though, as we getting close to halftime, and we talked about it earlier, the third quarter adjustments or lack of adjustments. Right now, we got Ime's first time really on this stage at this kind of environment versus Kerr, who's been here. Do you believe either coach is out coaching the other, given the benches have been so inconsistent? I'll start with you, Kenny.
No, I think is dead even. And to be honest, the first person to blink was Steve Kerr in terms of adjusting his lineup. So I think that's a credit to Ime Udoka that they had, that he had to adjust his lineup because he felt like he needed to do something. But yeah, I think it's even. I don't think either coach really has been out coached the other. And to your point, the fact of the matter is that they haven't been able to pull, the right triggers or press the right buttons because you haven't been able to get anything consistently from the others. So I think that's the other reason why it's really dead even, because you haven't seen anybody really consistently flash, anybody consistently, be an unsung hero. You haven't had any consistent spark off the bench from either team. So for that reason, I think that it's dead even. Tough shot by Steph.
That was a great shot.
Honestly, I'm kind of leaning more towards what Kenny was saying because I think this is more a testament to the GM skills of Golden State versus the lack of GM skills over in Boston. Their bench, they don't have many choices to maneuver around and match up well with Golden State. There's not a lot. Their bench is not deep enough for that. And you flip the coin. Steve Kerr has other tools on the bench that he can.
Well, he hasn't been using them.
He hasn't really needed them. He hasn't really needed them. Two of his biggest weapons on the bench are at the guard position. And which guard are you sitting down? What are you going to sit down, Clay? What are you going to sit down, Steph?
Earlier in this series, you absolutely could have sat Clay sorry tail behind that.
But we saw Jordan Poole.
But
we saw Jordan Poole
giving
go
you
off.
much, so it wasn't. You really didn't have a whole lot of options.
And then you got Gary Payton too.
Kuminga or Moody could have came in and gave you a boost.
Yeah, that's possible. You're right.
But we have that opportunity.
But Kuminga and Moody ain't coming in for Clay.
They could, depending on what lineup they go with. If you got Moody out there, you don't need. And Kuminga plays relatively big.
I mean, well, no. Granted, Andrew Wiggins, with the way he's been playing, yes, you're right. They could have done that because Wiggins could have switched over to the 2. We just moved up and put Kuminga at the. Yeah, you're right. But they haven't really had to.
I think game 3 would have been a great opportunity for them to do that. And they didn't because they were getting killed. And energy and inside. And I think that's been
another free throw.
I think Kuminga should have been in the last game when Draymond was doing so horrible.
I agree.
Yeah, but he went with Looney.
Mm-hmm. And Looney's played well.
To his credit, though, he got it done though.
I like Looney, man. I've always liked Looney.
Steph getting it going here at the end of the the end of the first half. So what do we expect going into halftime? We expect Boston to finally figure it out, or Steph only got 10. He gonna end the quarter with 25. Like, what are we thinking, Dev? I'll start with you.
I'm leaning towards Golden State. Keep on stepping on the third. No
surprise there.
Yeah, there's no surprise right now because Boston. It looked like Boston is giving them all that they had. They missing free throws. Tatum or Brown has them put their stamp on his first half, and like you just said, Steph ain't really scored yet. He only have 10. You letting Andrew Wiggins almost have a double-double.
That's it. They can't find a They can't find
no rhythm right now. And if they most definitely can't find no rhythm in the third quarter, then I'm one step closer to my prediction.
That is true. Kenny, what are you predicting coming out of this halftime?
Yeah, I'm not feeling good about Boston at all. I think Golden State's gonna blow this game wide open in the second half. I think the point of the fact that Steph Curry has kind of been really just been coasting. He hasn't really put his foot on the gas yet, and they're still up 12 at the half. So just imagine once he puts his foot on the gas.
Clay.
You know what I'm saying? So like it's been the other, and this has actually been the game of the others because you got Wiggins playing well, you got Jordan Poole making a contribution. So this may be the one game where you actually see the bench and see the other guys kind of step up, which usually happens at home anyway. So that it's kind of not a surprise. But yeah, I don't think I don't like the way that Boston is playing offensively. I don't like the way they're passing the ball. They're turning the ball over too much for me. And we know when they turn the ball over, that's when they have problems. And that plays right into Golden State's hands. So I just think that they're going to blow this game open in the second half. And I don't think it's going to be close.
Jay, I'll let you go.
Look, man, that Wiggins performance from last game to me really set my direction of where this series was going. And then this happening.
Who's your pick, Jay? I'm going to ask you, who's your pick in this series going in?
Golden State.
Okay.
I had Golden State in 5. But obviously that didn't go. So, but
Golden State in 5 with no knees claimed.
Man, he said no experience. He said they want to get this out of here.
But not only that, what we're watching right now is why I had them for 5 because Boston to me is built around physicality.
I mean, technically though, if you think about it, this series could be 3-1 right now because they gave away games.
Oh yeah.
That's really true. And but again, like to me, Boston's built around physicality. They're built around playing physical and kind of bullying with Tatum and Jaylen Brown and even Marcus Smart. He bullies smaller guard, not even smaller guard. He just bullying guards. I don't even understand it sometimes. But looking at this, you're playing a physical team, and your starting five is Wiggins, Otto Porter, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry. There's no reason that starting five should be out physical in Boston. And whenever I see that, that's what tells me, yeah, whenever I see that, that's what it's over. Because now they're beating you in your game, physicality, and you ain't beating them in shooting. Good luck. So,
no, you're not.
So, you know what I'm saying? We're at halftime. Wiggins got 16 and 7. And what are we looking over here? 13 and 8 from Tatum. So you mean their best player got 13 and 8 and Wiggins is right there? Steph is still walking on clouds. He ain't even tired. It's a wrap, bro. It's a wrap. You better go get some Mustard shoes.
Hey Ray.
So
Hey Ray.
listen,
Wait.
I'm gonna be honest.
Go ahead.
I picked Boston in 7. So
Go ahead.
my interest is in Boston turning this around. But I think right now in real time, Jason Tatum is in the locker room. Jason Tatum's gonna pull out that phone and he's gonna text Kobe.
Oh Lord.
And the Mamba
We're gonna find the Mamba magic now, huh?
will arise. And I think for the first time, because I think this is a proving time right now to me for Jason Tatum. Like if he's to be in that Luka group of the future, this is his moment. And this game on the road, I think he has what it takes. He shot 6 for 9. Jaylen Brown has 10 shot attempts. He has 9. I think they go in the locker room. I think you might see Jaylen Brown try and get going early. But if he don't, I think this becomes a Jason Tatum show. And to the coaching point, I think Udoka's going to have to figure out how to get Wiggins off of Tatum. Like, it's just he can dominate really anybody else, but he's struggling with the Wiggins defense.
Yeah.
So I think that's the difference. And I think Klay's due for a bad shooting night. He's decent right now, but he ain't really had one of them stinkers, and he hasn't been in a rhythm. I think it's going to be – obviously, he can get going at any moment. So I think Boston survives this third quarter, and then we'll see what kind of comes down the stretch in the fourth. I will say defensively, Robert Williams hasn't been nearly as active. I think he has 3 rebounds right now. That's not enough.
They've been attacking the basket. So
you talking about knees? That guy that got knees too.
I think he be faking half the time because he be flying through the air when he be playing defense.
Bro, that block last week. Hold on.
Before you point, how is this guy able to come back from a torn meniscus in like 6 weeks? And it's taking a year for James Wiseman to come back. I don't understand it.
They ain't built the same.
It ain't even that, man. Boston got y'all seen what happened in that last series against Miami? They went to the locker room, got that Boston water, came back home, was ready to go.
That's what I'm saying. I've watched Robert Williams jump out the gym and land, and then he'll hobble, and then he'll have another huge block. Like I watched he chased down Draymond in this game.
No, but that block last week,
after he chased down Draymond, that guy
he jumped up. He should have grabbed that ball out the air. But you're right. He pretended like he hurt because he'll jump up, blow out a candle, wave.
In other words, they just got a bunch of Paul Pierces on their team. That's what y'all saying.
It's
Paul Pierce out there giving them the
y'all wrong.
The ghost
step one.
Y'all off the hook, man.
Step one, your injury.
Y'all ain't sugar honey iced tea today.
Man, y'all tripping.
Hey, but it's the truth though. You said it yourself how he come back in 6 weeks and jumping over the backboard, and James Wiseman's still over there like,
don't understand.
I don't think Jameis Wiseman. I think Jameis Wiseman and DeAndre Ayton been playing video games together. That's why he ain't back. That's what I think it is. That's what I think it is.
Hey Jay, you're gonna have to go on another like 3-month break because you shooting so many darts and so many. You finding off so many shots, man.
Like,
you
man,
you might come up missing.
You might want to save some of the ammunition, Doug. You might go have to gun you down.
No, but seriously though, Jameis Wiseman should have been back, and that's another total thing. Like when he does come back, man, somebody gotta go to the bench. Who go to the bench?
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. That's why I say that there's no way that they're gonna be able to keep all these guys together. It's just too many guys fighting for minutes.
And guys
somebody's going.
They number trade bait. Some of these guys are trade bait.
I don't think that there's any way that you keep this core and these young guys. Somebody's gonna have to go.
Yeah, because honestly, I hate to say it, I think Gary Payton Jr. has took that step that somebody's gonna be like, you know what? We need a defensive player. We need a Marcus Smart.
I want to see.
You know what I mean?
For real.
He's like Gary Payton Jr. is like what Pat Beverly wishes he was. Because Pat Beverly shoots a lot, he just can't shoot. So if like Gary Payton's defense, very Marcus Smart.
If Gary Payton could just learn a mid-range jumper and learn how to get to the basket, you know what I mean, here and there, off of isolation, Gary Payton can be a starting guard somewhere, you know what I mean?
Or just a rotational piece. Like there's no question that he's shown that he should be a rotational piece somewhere in this league. Like he's shown that he has the ability to contribute to a winning team.
We need to get rid of campaign right now.
You might need to look at him in Phoenix.
Yeah, or San Antonio. You know, he get underneath a pop wing down there, and they can find another star.
He definitely got that type of
mentality.
You know what's funny? Like now that you say that, he's probably he's a more skilled version of Bruce Bowen.
Who? I can see that. Payton.
Gary Payton. He's a more skilled version of Bruce Bowen.
I can see that, but he don't have to sit in the corner like Bruce Bowen. You know what I mean?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like he doesn't necessarily have to sit in the corner. He's a slasher, so you could use him, on cuts. You could use him, alley-oops because he's super athletic. So you could do a bunch of things with him.
You see, I also think though, to your point, he's not allowed to shoot jumpers in Golden State. He'll go to the bench as soon as you take a jump shot. This is like you don't shoot twos.
See, that's why I say if he learned how to get to the midi, or learn how to get straight to the cup, more, he'll be decent. You know what I mean?
I think if he goes to a different squad, we'll see that a lot more out of him. I just don't think that Golden State allows that.
Another team to throw out there is New Orleans. You know what I mean? Look at that core team of how they growing. You know what I mean? You can stick him down in New Orleans also, you know what I mean, with CJ McCollum and Ingram being your offensive guy and Gary Payton can be your defensive guy. You know what I mean? That can be a nice little added piece to New Orleans.
What about if you put him in Utah as a starter?
No, because Utah.
Who are we talking about?
Gary Payton. We think Gary Payton has. Remember we were talking about earlier. We were talking about earlier.
Michael Conley to the bench.
How we was talking about earlier, how the some of these pieces of Golden State not gonna be able to stay.
They're outgrowing their positions.
You know what I mean? So we was thinking. I was thinking. Gary Payton kind of took that next level of being that guy that he can be that trade bait to be like, look, we got this guy here, and you know what I mean, he can be your defensive player. He can, and I was saying that if he can
trade him when he's on his rookie deal, if he's giving you and he's getting the most minutes off the bench in the finals.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but when it's time for him to get the deal, You know what I mean? Not right now. You know what I mean? But when it's time for him to get his deal, we think he reached that level of we can. He might not be a max player, but Gary Payton Jr. can be that 3 years.
We're talking about him being in Utah in 2 years, not next year.
So I'm talking about somebody got to go, guys. They can't keep everybody next year. Somebody got to go.
And I think Payton is just on a 1 year deal. So
I think. See, you got Kuminga. We already talked about. You still got Moody. You got Toscano. You got Belica, Looney.
I forgot about Toscano.
Bielitsa.
Yeah, whatever.
He on a 1 year deal, probably.
Iguodala probably gonna retire.
I mean, it's one of those. It has to be one of the four. Steph's not going.
Payton's on a 1 year deal.
It's Clay, Draymond, and Wiggins. One of them three gonna have to go. Maybe two, but you can't have four max players.
You can.
Yeah, Wiggins is gone.
And that's why I disagree. I think you.
I think it'd be more to Draymond than if you had to push come to shove.
Based on what we're seeing today,
they're too close knit together.
Honestly, though, that's not a bad. If it was me, it would be Draymond, because to me, I think he's the most. I think he's easily replaceable. Like, it's hard to find shooters like Klay Thompson. Like, those guys don't just, grow on trees. Like, and you got a guy in Kuminga that could probably do similar.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? He might be a better version of Draymond because the kid is only 19, 20 years old.
And you're getting 16 and 7 out of your first finals appearance in the first half.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you could see that potentially being an upgrade. So I think it would be Draymond if I'm the GM, that's who I would try to look to move.
I think the league been dogging Wiggins. Honestly, Wiggins should have been a highlight on somebody's team still.
He just got buried in Minnesota. That's all.
That's not true, because we watching Anthony Edwards ball out in Minnesota in that same role.
That's true.
But different coaching.
To be fair, though, the year that they when they had Jimmy Butler and those guys and him, they did make the playoffs.
And Wiggins balled.
Yeah, Wiggins balled.
And then you brought in D'Angelo Russell.
Remember,
he got
where did he get drafted? What number?
Cleveland.
Number 1.
What was that number 1?
So the standards different. You can't say, he had a
it's a lot of number 1. There's a lot of playoffs. Hey, look at Darko Milicic. He was drafted behind LeBron.
Brown. He ain't no bust.
No. Y'all know he's in Minnesota. He in Minnesota.
Expectation is different.
No, right, but I'm just saying, like, he's not a bust.
No. I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah,
you don't think Kevin Love's time was wasted? You don't think Kevin Garnett had his time wasted? Everybody in Minnesota, man, they got juice.
Stephon Marbury.
A
lot of people forgot Stephon Marbury to play for the group.
They only it was just them. And I mean, for what it's worth, Garnett did have Sam Cassell.
Latrell, Sam Cassell.
That was the one
year. That was only 1 year.
He was losing in the first round of the playoffs.
I'm with you. And
it took beat by the
Wally. He had my man Wally there for a little bit.
That was 1 year.
Man, pronounce his last name since that's your man.
Zerbiak. Wally's Zerbiak.
No, but I don't think Minnesota really I don't think they really built. They really set him up to win, bro. They gave him D'Angelo Russell. That boy, I mean, he's calmed down. But when he first got there, he was firing shots. And then, you know what I'm saying, Karl Anthony Towns didn't want to play for a second. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I think Wiggins kind of got the short end of the stick on that. And then now we kind of seeing what he can do if he got a real team around him. The dude
put him in the right system, right coaching.
Really
you know what I mean? He had no good coaching down in Minnesota stuff for that, that 1 year with Jimmy. But you gotta think Minnesota didn't get deep because Jimmy it's not your true number 1 star, really. You know what I mean?
It should have been Wiggins as the number 1 and Jimmy as the number 2. That would have worked.
Well, yeah, you gotta think, man. Jimmy wasn't bowing during that time. Jimmy wasn't bowing down.
He ain't bowing down today. That's why him and Haslam was about to chuck him.
That's a fact.
Yeah, no, Jimmy
Ray
play that.
Ray got a weak connection today, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So So your man Shaq was in the news last week, and he was saying that his Lakers team would not only beat the Michael Jordan Bulls, but they would also beat the Golden State Warriors. Like, Devin, I'm gonna go to you first because you're a Lakers fan. Do you believe it? Is he?
I believe it. Yes.
Is he right or is he wrong?
I think he's right.
On both?
Yeah, you gotta think, man. We talking about the Lakers, Shaq, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The most dominant big man that we probably ever see that won't cross that court, man. Who on Golden State? You think Draymond wants to take that ride? Chris Webber didn't want to take that ride. You think on the Bulls side, you think Luke Longley want to take that ride?
Hey, Luke Longley got slapped by Shaq, so he know better.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Chicago. I'm not sure about the Golden State.
The only thing
this is KD's Golden State.
Yeah, still, I'm still gonna choose my Lakers. You know what I mean? Because we got the young Mamba, who was, you know, he was after everything. And we had great role players. Everybody knew their role.
KD
down to big and down
all
to
all of your role players.
And that's cool. But when it comes down to Big Shot Bob,
Cooking Big Shot Bob.
He can cook them, but Big Shot Bob is going to keep us in the game. Rick Fox is going to keep us in the game.
Cooking Rick Fox.
That's cool. You know, KD didn't cook it.
Devin George, whoever you come up with at that three,
it doesn't even
I
matter.
don't know which
Anybody playing that five is going to get fouled out or is getting cooked.
I will give you that.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna rob on my Lakers, man. Where my man Freddie at? Freddie, here we go, baby.
What you think, Jay? You think Shaq was right, or you think he was wrong? Are they beating the Warriors and MJ's Bulls?
They're beating the Bulls. They're beating the Bulls because Shaq gonna slap the hell out of Dennis Rodman, and that's gonna be the neutralizer right there. He just gonna slap Dennis Rodman in game one, and that's gonna be the neutralizer. So they gonna beat the Bulls.
Did they find out the remedy?
But bro, Golden State,
man,
look, Steph Curry to me is the closest thing to Allen Iverson handle-wise that we see right now, besides maybe Kyrie. Okay.
AI didn't win the championship, but go ahead.
That's not what I was talking about, though.
Lakers beat them 4-1. But go ahead.
But that's another guy that was by himself. He had Dikembe Mutombo.
100%.
He had Dikembe Mutombo at like age 62.
You gotta talk to Philly GM, man.
But we ain't even going down that way. We ain't even going down that path right now. But I remember between Derek Fisher and Tyronn Lue, they was both spread out on the floor that whole series.
Oh, that's a mismatch. You got that.
Right.
You got that. Steph gonna cook Derek Fisher.
Steph is about to put Derek Fisher in a meat tenderizer. Derek.
But Kobe is going to cook Klay Thompson, though.
No, because Kobe ain't getting guarded by no darn Klay Thompson.
Oh, you put KD on him?
Yes, if you think Kevin Durant is walking around the basketball court guarding Rick Fox,
you
he could take a break. He can take a break on me.
Because you know Kobe gonna give him that work.
Listen, I didn't watch him sit up here and
trade
shots.
Kobe.
Yeah, but I didn't watch KD trade shots with Jason Tatum.
Oh, no, but hey,
ain't no way
gonna give him some of that work too. And
most definitely,
gonna be no,
most definitely. But once Kobe put that shirt in his mouth, y'all already know that he is locked down.
Did you say Klay? Did you say Klay gonna give him the work?
He gonna give him a little shooting work.
No, Klay and Rick Fox can go talk to each other.
Dang, what they gonna talk? What they gonna have? Light skin conversation this summer?
Give Kobe that work.
Klay and Rick Fox gonna talk about KD and Kobe. That's gonna happen over there. They're gonna be like, man, your guy good. They're gonna be like, what?
Klay would be heard from in that series. He ain't gonna just be
because Rick Fox is guarding him, not because Kobe guarding him.
Look, I'm not saying that KD,
So
Steph or Clay.
if Fox is guarding Clay, then who's guarding KD?
Kobe.
He's gonna wear your superstars down, aren't you?
Kobe guarding KD.
That's too much.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm gonna say it like this:
Whole game.
if it don't go down like that, Golden State gonna blow them out. If it don't go down like that, bro, look, Kenny. First of all,
I
they
don't know
gotta
about no
slow the game.
blowout. You gotta
Kenny.
remember, they got nobody to guard Shaq. Nobody.
No, but the Shaq ain't. Listen, we are hack a Shaq. Hold on, look, we got. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you right now. Hold on.
Yeah, because I'm gonna look at that team.
No,
Gotta look at that team,
Moody gonna play center for 6 plays.
I'm gonna look at that roster to see who.
Kuminga gonna play center for 6 plays. Toscano gonna play center for 6 plays. Look, we got Bjelica, or how you pronounce that dude's name?
Oh, please. We're not
Then
even
Elisa,
talking
man.
You got 6 fouls.
We're not
Rudy got
talking
6
about-
fouls.
Yeah,
My
we're
And
not
man
talking
Iguodala
about-
got 6
my
fouls.
man said Bjelica.
Yeah. We're not talking about that team.
No, but listen, it's hack a Shaq. They is hack a
Not
Shaq.
true.
Oh
hacking
man, I understand that. I
Yeah,
do
that's
understand
funny.
And
that.
remember though, Kenny,
Hey,
back then,
that's
when it was hack a
right.
Shaq,
Hey, y'all watching my boys? Y'all watching
Hey,
these
You
boys?
called it right.
Woo!
Hey, they
I've
took-
been trying to tell
You
y'all.
called it right.
Oh, now you hype. You were just like a sad puppy
I
looking
didn't
for his
listen,
biscuit
man.
to find his way back
Racial
home.
dominance doesn't strike often, but when he strikes, you just gotta
Right.
sit
I'm
back
glad
and
you
listen.
said that. I'm glad you said that. Doesn't
You know
strike
that?
often. You're right.
You know
So
what, man?
we back in it. My boy JT out here looking like the best player in the world, best light skin in the world. We gonna see what he gonna finish his third quarter.
Hold on. How you
But,
gonna say you was high on Steph? But
So
you
Steph
now
ain't-
you talking about Tatum is the best light skin on the court now. You know
Steph
what, Ray,
ain't-
man?
Steph ain't taking a shot yet, though. That's the problem. He about to start up right now.
And see, that's why Ray froze up, man, because he
Yeah,
know he
I'm
was
looking
talking
at
that
I'm
nonsense.
looking at this roster, man. I'll say this. I'm with you, Jay, that they beat Chicago. They beat MJ. I think they beat MJ because those centers are just getting cooked and abused by Shaq. And Rodman is too small to guard Shaq. So
And he's not going to get 20 rebounds.
yeah, I'm with you on that. And I think Kobe and MJ pretty much played to a
Cancel out each other.
standstill. Yeah. And then I'm not sure who the other guys are in terms of who's going to step up for Chicago
And you can
pick up
grab
that
any
slack.
one of their point guards: BJ Armstrong, Steve Kerr, Paxson.
Yeah. That was
It don't matter.
You could throw anybody in that position, and they were just
They still gonna win.
But I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I don't think they beat KD's.
Look at
Warriors.
that. Come on here.
I don't either.
Again,
Got
I
the
just think
ball
the
touching
matchups are
him.
bad. Besides Shaq, they really don't have any significant advantages in terms of that
No.
starting five.
Nah.
And
Because they got too many weapons in Golden State, so it isolates Kobe.
that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think that they have any other advantage besides Shaq.
But I
that's
think
it.
the rebound will also play in the Lakers' favor. Also,
Shaq's
too.
No, it would.
tired, man.
I think it would be a 6 or 7 game series, no question, because the Lakers have what was the Golden State with those Golden State Warriors, and even this team this year is the Achilles heels. They got size, they got beef, they got a dominant post player. So that's always been their Achilles heel. So I think that's what make that matchup tough. But I think ultimately with Steph, Clay, and KD, man, that's just too much to try to hold down for 7 games.
Yeah, it would be a good matchup, but
No, it definitely would.
But let me ask you: are we playing with they refs or these refs?
man, I'm
Now,
playing
that's
with
the
2000. I'm
that's
playing with
the real-
2000 refs. I ain't
2000
playing with
refs?
these. Yeah, I ain't playing with
Which
these
rules are
refs,
you
man.
playing with?
If we play with the 2000 refs, the Lakers might win.
Yeah, Bob, I'm saying if we play with the old school rule or 2000, because it was still physical during that time period. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
you know,
Shaq
it
was
wasn't like
still putting
snatching
people
people
in
out the air
rims.
like you know, the Bad Boys. But
Oh,
it was still physical.
Hold on. Remember, that is the year a year before or a year after when Joe Johnson got knocked out the air, broke his wrist. A year before, a year after, when Robert Horry took Steve Nash out,
Yeah, hip check him. Yeah,
took him out.
Yeah,
like they was going at it back then.
Yeah,
It wasn't no PJ Brown, Charlie Ward. You're right, but
yeah. Yeah,
but you gotta remember that the Kings and the Lakers used to get at it in the back of the in the back of the arena.
Doug
you know what I mean? Doug Christie and Rick Fox. You know what I mean? So
he should have been whooping on Derek Fisher.
Boy, you just come out firing, boy.
Take your weapon from you, man, because you are just this
guy just set me up, man. He just set up, man.
Unlimited ammunition. Well, yo, let's switch gears. Let's switch gears to the NFL. Let's touch the NFL real quick before we get out of here. Deshaun Watson, we've seen, you know, another. I think it's up to 24 now. In terms of these civil lawsuits. And so, like, what are you guys' thoughts on what you think happens to Deshaun Watson? Why do you think that it's taking so long for the NFL to kind of hand down their punishment? And just your thoughts overall, like, what do you think is going to happen in terms of Deshaun Watson, him being on the field for the Cleveland Browns next year? I'll start with you, Jay. What you think?
Man, when this broke, me and you we're still on this show together, Kenny.
Yeah.
I said it back then. I'm gonna say it again. Innocent until proven guilty means they shouldn't be handing out punishments before the end result. And I think that it's gonna backfire in the end because we already seen him sit out a whole year and nothing fruitate from that. You know, and I'm gonna be careful with my words because I don't want people to take me the wrong way. But at 24 and 30 and 35 and 40 different individuals, there's something else there. There's something else there, man. Are 14 of them true? Or 23 of them true? Could be. Do I believe that most of them are? I don't know, man, because it's just the way they're coming out and how they're piling up. It's like 7 come, 3 get knocked off, 7 more come, 2 get knocked off, 5 more come, they knock 6 back off. Like, and it's just, it's weird. And the NFL, you know, for them, I mean, there comes a point where are you doing criminal? Are we worrying about criminal charges now? Or are we worried about civil lawsuits? Because there's probably a lot more people going through civil lawsuits than we know about.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what they should do. They're in a weird position because they've already started reprimanding him. So they can't stop now. You know, I mean, it's a weird thing, man. It's a weird position to be in on both sides. And for the team. For the team as well. I think I wouldn't have traded for him right then. There still was a lot going on. I think they put their neck out there to do it. I think that's why they didn't trade Baker Mayfield. They kind of had an idea still.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's a heavy situation, definitely.
Yeah, I get it. What do you think, Dad?
Man, I'm like, it's confusing. You know what I mean? It is just like 1 minute you see that they're like, you was like, oh, all right, well, at least it ain't criminal. He ain't go too far across the line, I guess. Then you see the women dropped on, then drop off, then drop on, then drop off, then drop on, and it's just like confusing. Houston would just ready to just to get rid of the Proud. They were like, you know what? We already the worst team, one of the worst teams in the NFL. Let's just get rid of this problem real quick because we don't feel like we ain't got the money, we ain't got the time to deal with this. And the Browns was like, well, shoot, then we'll take him. He, you know what I mean? He only going to probably miss a year. You know what I mean? Another year, give or take. And I think that's what is going to wind up happening. I think we're not going to see Deshaun this year. You know, it sucks to say because, you know, the guy is talented. He's one of the most talented quarterbacks in the NFL. And, you know, for him to be, you know, stuck in a limbo between if you take this plea, if you pay these girls and say, look, man, this is what I have and this is what I'm going to give you just to make this all go away, he's going to look guilty. It's going to look like he's going to get
suspended for another year.
Yeah, you know, it's going to look like you did something. But then as he trying to sit here and hold out and say, look, I didn't do anything that these women didn't already know what was going to happen, you know, because we don't know what really happened. There's nobody really saying he came out and he got too aggressive or he got too. They just said it just went left. You know what I mean? That's what we stuck with. So until somebody actually comes out and say, I have proof and this is what happened and anything in this nature, we're not going to see Deshaun this year. All because of nobody can have proof. You know what I mean? And if we do see Deshaun, it's going to be late in the season. We don't know how the Browns going to look then. You know what I mean? Do you even risk that chance?
The last thing I think a team, to your point, Dave, because the last thing a team wants to do is say, oh, let's go. Have them out there playing 2 games. And then they say, oh, everything these girls been saying is real. Then they look really bad.
Oh yeah. Kind of like the you know, and Dev, you would know this, the Ray Rice situation where you know they recently suspended him for 2 games, and then once the video came out, they had to they had to save face.
They had to be like, hey bro, come here. You didn't know. You didn't say.
You didn't say there was cameras there. And I was kind of upset about that too, about the whole Ray Rice because I was a fan of Shorty. You know what I mean? And he really fit our scheme during that year too. And you know, and I hate to see another African American brother go down for domestic violence. I hate to see anybody go down for domestic violence. Nobody should have to live their life, you know, like that. But
especially in the position he's in, man. And
yeah.
You know, that brings us back to Kenny. That just kind of reminds me of the conversation we was having way back then when this thing first came up. And I think there needs to be, you know, we talk about all the money and, you know, players getting screwed over with money and money and money and money. I think that one of the biggest things that we could do as a community in these sports is provide more, you know, support, more mentorship for our guys. You know, like, I don't know, man. Everybody always walks around. They play the lottery. They go to casino. Everybody wants to hit the big, you know, hit the millions and things. But I don't know a lot of people that overnight at 19, 20, 21, 22 years old that could really actually handle that overnight, you know. And luckily they're traveling a lot. They're on team buses. They're around, you know, people of the same type of situation. So it's probably a little bit easier for them to cope with that portion of it. But, you know, going out, you know, taking your family out to dinner and having to deal with fans, you know, going to shopping or doing just normal things that you don't get to do no more, or having to deal with, you know, like KD in the beginning of his career, he really dealt with he still deals with it, but not talking to or reacting to fans, or whether on social media or whatever. And that's a minute thing that we just get to see because KD is very open. Bless you.
Thank
KD's very open with what he struggles with personally outside of basketball. But I'm sure there's plenty of other guys out there like that. You know, we had the Ricky Williams back in that day. We all know about Ricky. Hey, you know, Ricky would keep the helmet on. He was afraid of, you know, the anxiety would kill him being in front of the camera, to, you know, those type of things. So I think one of the biggest opportunities we have, and not just in football, but I think football is probably one of the ones that need it the most. But having more mentors throughout the team. What are the rosters at right now? Like 52 players?
53.
53 players. That's a lot for 4 coaches. You know, they're worried about coaching. They ain't necessarily worried about what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
Because there's 53 of them.
Yeah.
So I think that this, especially this Deshaun Watson thing, I don't know how his mentor would have figured this part out early, but he could have used some help. You know what I mean? Like, this is definitely one of those situations where you can't repeat it 40 times.
Yeah. So my thoughts are, and then Ray, I'll let you go. I think he's going to get 10 games. Like, I think that they're going to really, they're going to really throw the book at him. They're really going to try to drop the hammer on him. Because, like you guys said, like when there's smoke, there's fire. Like 24 cases. I don't know what the extent of how true it is, or we don't know, how many of these women are just jumping on the opportunity and feel like it's an opportunity to perhaps get some money. We don't, and I don't want to disparage any women. Please don't cancel me. But I think at the end of the day, man, it's just too much. And to me, I'm surprised that, and I guess you guys, to you guys' point, maybe the NFL is concerned about jumping up there too quick and making a swift decision and perhaps regretting it. But I don't know. I think it's enough there, for it was enough of a violation for the personal conduct policy for them to at least come out with 6 games. Like, I think there's enough here for them, that would fall under the category of the 6 game, kind of similar to the Ben Roethlisberger situation, a few years back, to where he had his situations and he never was charged with anything. But they still suspended him for, was it 6 games or was it 4
6 games?
6 games. So I think that, I think the precedent is there for them to at least give him 6, but I think it's going to wind up being like 10. So I just think it's a sad situation. I think, Jay, you make a great point about, this is kind of highlighting the need for mentors, because this is killing a situation. Like, I don't know how much of if dude just got a serious case of of a freak in him or whatever the case is.
He got the Tiger Woods going on.
Yeah, like,
man, y'all know what he needed after that massage, like, man. Y'all know what it was.
I'm just saying, like, bro, like, come on. Like,
my man said, hey, you see this paper right here? It's going to tell you, everything you need to know at the end of this massage.
And the other part too, I think the Texans need to have some
take ownership
as well, because
thank you.
They was basically enabling the dude. You're giving him NDA agreements to sign, and just basically giving him carte blanche to do whatever he wants.
The girl showing up, they like, come here, sign the paper. She's like, I'm just showing up for a massage. Like, what did you
gonna say? Oh, they didn't tell you about that.
You ain't gonna be talking about this massage.
They ain't tell you the PS part, huh?
Listen, so that to me, the Texans have to take some responsibility too, or they should be punished in some way, shape, or form.
And I think that's why they got rid of him.
Houston got rid of him. They was like, that no more.
But I don't think you get to skate on that like that.
No.
Get rid of them. That shouldn't absolve you from not having to deal with the consequences of his action, because it was done while he was on your watch. So regardless of whether he gets punished now or later, it still happened while he was Houston Texans. So to me, I think they should be
in your
punished as well.
facilities, in your
Yeah, and again, like you were supplying him with the NDAs for him to be able to, conduct his business.
I will say this, however, guys, because I am upset about this. I've been pissed off about this, and it's still pissing me off that I'm even doing it right now. We're talking about this Deshaun Watson stuff, and we've been talking about this Deshaun Watson stuff, and it keeps coming up, and because it's not solved yet. But where the hell and when the hell are we gonna put Washington on trial? Dan Snyder, bro. I mean, come on.
Right, where you can stick to that. But isn't he under congressional investigation or something like that?
It's been under congressional investigation for like 2 years.
When you a millionaire,
well,
it's gonna keep moving.
Once they start digging into the money, then it's just a matter of time before something.
But it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt the NFL, and that's the problem. It ain't just gonna hurt Washington. It ain't just gonna hurt Dan. We talking because what you just said to me reminded me of it, Kenny. We talking about having these things done at Houston facilities and them taking responsibility, and the same thing on that Dan Snyder thing when they was over in Costa Rica or wherever the heck they were when they was doing them little photo shoots and then pawning them girls off afterwards. These dudes, you know what I mean? So I just think that what you said is 100% correct. Houston's needs to take responsibility for this as well. They should be fined. They should be reprimanded in whatever way that the league can reprimand organization. Maybe lose some draft picks, some fines, so on and so forth.
Look, Houston's already at the bottom. What more do y'all want to do to them, man?
Hey, man, I don't know. They gotta get hit.
You gotta wear this somehow. I don't care.
Yeah, thank you.
So I just gotta ask because I've heard a bit of what y'all saying, and so y'all are saying because of which part? Because the grand juries didn't look into it. There was never a criminal charge filed,
right?
And because of the allegations alone, that that everybody should suffer these punishments. Is that what I'm understanding?
No. Wait.
Well, I said if there's smoke, there's fire, and then I said that to me the precedent was set with Ben Roethlisberger.
But he was throwing out last year because there's a reason he didn't play last year, and it wasn't.
I understand that.
But wait,
I just think
he didn't want to play in Houston no more.
So what was that? No,
there was never no punishment. There was never no punishment or anything that was. They kept him off the field. It wasn't that the NFL was saying that he needs to stay.
Houston didn't want to put him on the Houston didn't want to put him on the field, and then they get found guilty or whatever. You get found true in the middle of the season, and then Houston looked bad for knowing that was going on and playing him through it.
So in either scenario, he was punished. Like he was not able to play.
No.
I think that was by his choice.
He was able to play. He was able to play.
Paid,
so you think he said, I don't want to play, and they paid him all year?
Yeah, he had no choice.
They had no choice, yeah.
Just
because I think he also had to pay back some of that money anyway.
No, he got fined for not being at training camps. He got fined for not being at practices. Right. He got fined for all that, but they had to pay him his bread.
No, you don't. Like
once he showed up, though, they had to.
Yeah, they paid him once he showed up. That was it.
He got a guarantee.
That's all he had to do.
Yeah, he got a guaranteed contract, bro.
He ain't got to play. He just got to show up.
He just got to drive past the stadium on the way to the bank.
So then I guess if that's y'all reasoning, that wasn't
the reason. No, that's not my reasoning. My reasoning is you can't tell me that everybody lying out of 30, bro.
He ain't innocent.
30 of them ain't not everybody lying, bro. Come on. I ain't that naive.
He did things illegal.
No, he did things against the policy of the contract that he signed.
He did things that would violate the NFL's personal conduct policy.
And which is the ethics that his mama probably instilled in him. Come on now.
Which is what? But y'all are saying he did this. I'm asking, what did he do?
He got a happy ending.
Forcefully, it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like.
Sounds like, because if we're going to punish him, we need to be holding him responsible for what he did wrong. So what did he do
The
wrong?
same thing. The same way the NFL couldn't prove that Ben
I'll tell you
Roethlisberger
this right here.
And we just
This
got to
right
wait
here.
till they go to court. Then if that's
No,
the
you
case,
don't.
then we don't. Then he doesn't get punished until he goes to court. That's what you're saying, right?
No, we know enough right now where he can get punished by the NFL. He used the NFL's
That's what I'm saying. The
facilities
precedent has
to
been
get
set.
to have some sexual.
So why did they suspend him last year when all this stuff?
They didn't suspend him last year like
because
that.
they was waiting to see was it going to be criminal or civil.
And it's turned out that it's not. It's not criminal. So then why would
Okay.
you put him this year? If those are your options, it turned out that
The same way how Ben's did, how the same
Criminal?
way Ben's
So
didn't
then
turn
why
out to be
why would
criminal.
last
They
year?
Right.
still,
And he got
and they
6 games.
and he still gave him 6 games.
So why wouldn't you suspend him last year when it came out?
Because we didn't know if it needed
It
to be
hadn't been
6 games
totally
or 2 years.
And then it also hadn't the thing hadn't totally been adjudicated because we still in the process. Well, I
Y'all
guess
are arguing that the law doesn't matter and that Roger Goodell could do whatever he wants. Why didn't he?
no, that's not what we're
Roger
saying.
Goodell
that's
can't
not
do
what
We're
whatever he
saying that
wants.
based off
He-
of the precedent of previous situation
He
that
can.
is within his rights to suspend him.
If Deshaun Watson gets suspended this upcoming season, he could have got suspended last season. There's no new different information. The
You're-
core
you're-
of it is the same.
We're not
But
arguing
the
that.
cases
We're not
weren't
arguing
brought
that.
until all those cases weren't brought until after the season had already
No,
started.
they were
Am I
in the
incorrect?
summer. No, they were brought up in the summer.
It was
They
before
didn't-
the season.
It was before because
in the court. They didn't go to
But I'm
court,
talking about the
court for
civil part of
anything.
it.
Yeah.
All these cases haven't hit the
After
courts. Like,
The report came out before the season started.
Way before.
it
in
was
May.
before even training camp started.
Yeah, like in May.
Because remember,
But,
he
but
had,
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Ray. Let me say this because I get where you're going. So there's 2 parts to this, and this is why last year didn't happen. Okay, there's the criminal case where remember we're talking about 24 women. That's 24 separate counts. If he gets charged with that, those are 24 separate violations that he made that were criminal charges that he will get reprimanded for because they're individual, right? Now, he doesn't get reprimanded for, or he doesn't get found guilty of that, but they reacted as if he would be, and they suspend him for 2 years because remember, it's 24 counts. So you can't say I'm gonna suspend him for him being guilty for it and not give him a strong consequence. Can't make it light. Now, if he doesn't get it found guilty for it, and it is a civil violation, he's still getting 6 games minimum because he used the NFL and that team facility to do those things. That's policy. That's where he's going to get suspended off top. No matter what we talk about, no matter what happens, he's getting that suspension.
I just don't understand. I mean, I do. I completely understand because I understand the climate we live in. But this man has lost a year of his career. And I do not believe they sat him all last year.
but he didn't lose any money though, right?
Let me finish. They could have got was high last year before all this extra came out. So if you were going to move him anyway, which they ended up doing, because they didn't move him because new information came out. All
No.
the same information was available.
They were afraid about the information coming out about them.
So then you should have traded him sooner.
They
Nah.
couldn't because it was too hot last year.
a lot of
It
teams.
was too hot last year. Nothing's
Yeah.
changed.
No,
Yeah,
I think
no.
it was 2
They
teams
traded
that
him
was
when it was quiet.
interested. It was 2 teams that was interested in him last year, but they wasn't offering what Houston
They were lowball.
wanted. You know what I mean? So he was Deshaun already put it out there and said, "I'm not playing in the Houston Texan uniform ever again. That's it. I'm done. Whatever. I don't care what y'all try to do to me. I'm not playing in the Houston Texan uniform." So I think that was one of the reasons why he didn't play last year. I don't think it was for the silver cases or anything in that nature. I think it was just those two parties couldn't come to an agreement. So they were like, well, he was like, well, I take that Le'Veon Bell absence. You know what I mean? I take a year off.
And I feel
And-
kind of like you feel like he's being victimized.
I do believe he's being overly penalized at this point.
No, not penalized.
I'm
I
not
said
thinking.
victim.
Yeah, I don't think he's been penalized yet.
He didn't get penalized at all yet because
Yeah.
he made his money last year.
We disagree on why he didn't play last year. That's why.
Yeah, we definitely disagree on why he didn't play last year because he didn't want to play last year for that team.
Right, and that
And he
team,
still got paid,
I
though.
don't believe
So
anything
where's the penalty?
changed that they couldn't have got outside of maybe Baker not playing well. But
he wasn't in Cleveland.
That's my point.
So
why did Cleveland make the deal all of a sudden? What changed?
Because they still feel that Deshaun is still at that peak of his career. They was like, well, whether he missed 6 games or not.
They knew Baker. They did not believe in Baker
Mayfield.
Mayfield.
And they didn't believe in
So
Baker.
that's all the more reason
to get another franchise quarterback.
So that's all.
And OBJ was going.
Cleveland, you make the trade last year and you offer Baker.
No,
if that's deal, then offer Baker.
No.
Save yourself the headache that you have now with 2 starting quarterbacks making.
You don't have 2 starting quarterbacks.
You do have 2 starting quarterbacks.
No, they don't. One of them ain't playing.
$20 million. He's a starting quarterback.
No, he ain't. He ain't playing.
He's starting in Cleveland.
He's not even gonna. He ain't even gonna step in the stadium for the first 6 weeks. Man,
the point is Baker Mayfield is a starting quarterback in the league making $20 million. Now
Baker is
because of the team he's on. Yes, he's not going to play. He's not going to be there.
But here's to your point, though. Right?
It made more sense from everybody involved for that trade to happen last year.
No, it would have made more sense for Watson.
It
would have made more sense for Watson. Nope. Because Cleveland went. Look,
how does Cleveland not win if they get Watson last year and he's not suspended?
But that's not the point.
That's exactly the point.
No.
If y'all contention is he wasn't going to get suspended last year because they didn't have enough information. Otherwise, he shouldn't get suspended next year. So if you weren't going to suspend him last year, why wouldn't you trade him last year from Cleveland? I have now Deshaun Watson on my roster
because Cleveland
a better quarterback and Baker Mayfield, and he has the whole offseason to work with the team.
But you're not factoring in the actual factuals that was going on at that time. Cleveland was riding behind Baker at that time. Baker had a big movement. OBJ had just came to town. They were pushing that. Jarvis Landry, Kareem Hunt was coming back. Then you had Chubbs. They were so excited. No, you're not factoring in the whole module that was going on in May, in June, in July during training camp.
If any of us were a GM as a team, and in that same Cleveland scenario, you can get Deshaun Watson. Y'all are not taking that deal.
No. I got Baker Mayfield on a cheaper contract. Hold on. I got Baker Mayfield on the cheaper contract. No, I wouldn't have. I should be fired for making this deal, and then Deshaun about to get suspended.
You don't know that. Apparently.
No, we know that. It's 26 now. Again. Like
we're talking back then.
But
at
look,
that time, you said keep the actual factuals of what was going on then.
So look,
and I think hold up though. I think Cleveland believes that he's going to get suspended too because his contract is only paying him like $1 million something this year. So they've already accounted for the fact that they believe he's going to get suspended.
So this money don't kick into next year.
So then why wouldn't you trade for him last year?
I'm telling you
because nobody wanted to pull that trigger.
No,
they didn't want to pull the trigger. What are you talking
about? In Cleveland,
nobody wanted to pull that trigger.
They didn't want to. They didn't give up on. They didn't give up on Baker Mayfield mid. They didn't give up on Baker Mayfield. Mid-season. They gave up on him after the season
because of what he was saying.
Have y'all been reading the reports that have been coming out? He didn't just become a problem last year. He wasn't just a child last year.
You talking about Baker?
Yes.
But look, you're still not.
There wasn't no other quarterbacks out there.
I'm answering.
Was available.
Hold on.
That deal for him.
But I'm answering your question of why. The why is what was going on, not in the locker room, because that's what a franchise is supposed to do. Keep the locker room under wraps. The fans in Cleveland ain't got nothing to cheer for 20 years. All of a sudden, they got Baker Mayfield, who the fans, not the franchise, bro. The fans were hype over Baker. Then you just got OBJ. They were hype over that.
No, you didn't just get OBJ. He left. What are you talking about?
No, OBJ did not leave until
if that was the case, then if they were done with Baker Mayfield, why did they get rid of OBJ?
because if you get rid of Baker, I think if you make the trade for Deshaun, you keep OBJ. But if you
That's
don't,
my point. Like
if
if you didn't believe in Baker Mayfield, why would you get rid of OBJ?
Because you don't have another quarterback, and he's
What's
not
the
going to be
quarterback have
good.
to do with that?
If he wasn't working with Baker, you think he's going to work with a worse quarterback?
So, but I'm saying if you didn't believe, but you're still not making sense to me. If you didn't believe in Baker Mayfield, why would you keep OBJ and just get another quarterback?
You guys make that sound so easy.
What do you mean? He was on the contract.
What is
released him?
Quarterback that
they released the man. It wasn't like they made a trade for him. They just released him and cut bait.
Go find another quarterback. Kenny, have you seen the jerseys of Cleveland quarterbacks?
I'm
You make it sound like they can drop Baker and just go get anybody.
But they could have made the trade for this.
They've been getting anybody during a past season. They've been getting anybody. They getting anybody that came available.
Why would you keep Odell at this point in his career so he can play with one of them run-of-the-mill quarterbacks that Cleveland always has? They did for a favor.
If you had
Jarvis Landry doing it,
play where he wanted to play.
There was some value there, you would at least try to see if there was another opportunity that you could get to either even flip him in some type of a trade. But
his value was low. They were trying to trade him. Nobody.
I'm just saying you cut bait with the guy, but you still believe in Baker Mayfield. I don't get it.
Wow.
Which one's easier to replace? A injured receiver or a starting quarterback?
Hey, did y'all see Montrez?
Yeah, but this is another. I guess I'm the convict today. It's weed. From the report I read, said it was 3 pounds of weed. What are we doing?
Y'all got to fill me in.
Why does he have 3 pounds of weed?
I didn't read it.
Because he's a super rich black guy that likes to talk about.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, y'all got to fill me in.
Montrezl Harrell was arrested with 3 pounds of weed, and it's a felony charge, I think, in Tennessee.
It's a felony charge in every state.
3 pounds?
You said he had 10 pounds.
Where?
He had 3 pounds.
At the airport?
Oh.
Were you trying to fly with it?
He got pulled over.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
That's a felony in every state, bro.
So,
yeah.
As someone who is familiar with the culture,
Me too.
as someone that rich, that's not that much. Like, I get what you're saying. It is a felony, yes. Is he an idiot for being the one driving the car with it in it?
That part. Just stop right there.
So yes,
you said you know the culture. We know the culture. We both know the culture. That part we just stop.
So yes, I give you that, but the rest of it is stupid.
No, it's not stupid. It's not stupid because we got to stop right there.
Are we really having this conversation about weed in America at this point with all these dispensaries, all these places?
No, we're not. We're not having a conversation about weed. We're having a conversation about you are worth too much money just to deliberately not follow simple instructions.
I'll give you that.
They are letting them play tonight.
That's it. Boy. That's it, Ray. Because everything else you're about to say, I agree.
Man, they letting them play.
Everything else you're about to say about it, I have to agree with you. I
Boy,
understand that,
and
I'm with it. But bro, you're worth too much money to have that stupid of an issue pop up.
But you know what that tells me?
Well, at least how your man drive a car.
He ain't smoking alone.
No, that was a party going on that night.
They should have went and grabbed it.
That was a sale going on that night.
When you talk about
it wasn't no party. A party is 3 ounces. You know what I mean? You got 3 pounds
on the party.
When you got
3 pounds is a sale.
The parties they throw got 2 to 300 people.
He had
75% women in bathing suits. Like,
man, that is
my no party.
No, I agree with you on that part.
Everybody getting drunk.
You're 100% right on all of that part. I just think
that was we talk. Y'all heard y'all talking earlier. I think I missed it about mentors. That's a mentor conversation, bro. You got people on payroll for that reason,
bro. I'll send somebody for you.
Right, like
Go
So
pick
yeah,
that up.
that part 100%.
Hey, we signing NDAs for massages,
And they
we-
signed.
and we can't get nobody to go pick them.
Boy, you came loaded today, man.
We hiring fall guys now. That's
Absolutely. What do
Yeah.
you mean? That's
Low
your
battery.
job.
Please charge.
We sign NDAs for massages, but we can't get somebody to go pick up party favors.
Man, that's hilarious.
It's just a crazy world we live in. But I hope they resolve this Watson thing soon because I feel away. Not the same way about Harold, but I just
Well, that's your.
I've seen it too
I'm
many
about to
times.
say that's your man, but now he in Charlotte.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Montrez
Yeah.
So
is
That's-
dope too. I mess with
that's
Trez.
his
Trez
man.
is cool. I want Trez out here in Phoenix. If we had to get rid of Jay Crowder or somebody, I'd take Trez out here, man.
you
Why?
say
Because he got the 3 pounds?
he would have been good in Cali probably.
Right.
Hey,
But
He'd have been-
Arizona,
And
not in
Arizona.
Arizona.
It's legal in
Y'all
Arizona
rules out
too,
there
right?
in Arizona is lethal.
hey, no, it ain't that bad no more, man. They lighten up.
Yeah, okay.
Just don't break the rule. That's why I
That's
said.
why you got Chris Paul and Devin Booker and not some bad boys out there. They ain't
It's
messing-
legal in Arizona, right?
Yeah, it's legal, but what he's saying is real.
They need to
You-
make it
you
legal
can
in
be-
Maryland, man. They
Don't
take
pass
it.
the line. Don't go over the line a little bit. They be right there.
Yeah, it's bad news.
Wee wee.
Mm-hmm.
What you got there, sir? We just got a
They don't
rope.
even-
Gun him
they don't
down.
They don't even do that. They just get out like, mm-hmm. Come on.
I mean, that's the thing. I'm sure when he got pulled over, you could smell 3 pounds. It's kind of hard to,
Yeah.
you know.
He probably had some
You can almost-
Maui or something.
If he ain't have no RV, you can still with no truck. You can see the 3 pounds.
Well,
You gonna-
hey,
Pop the
Wayne
trunk, sir.
Wayne came through here with a Winnebago with 3 pounds, and they smelt that. So
Hey,
know.
you ain't riding in no 4-door car talking about, oh yeah, that's just a rope. It's like nah, dog. Pop the hood. Pop
That's
the
for the-
trunk.
that's for the hemp lotion.
Hmm.
Yeah, nah, but I'm glad I hopped on with y'all tonight, man. It's been a minute since I had time on a Monday.
Got come
Yo.
on more often. I know you was depressed about your son, but you come holler at your boys.
Actually, you know what? Kenny? I was more depressed about my Cardinals than I was about my Suns, man. I was more depressed about the way the Cardinals went out than I was.
That's
about
who
the
need a
Suns.
quarterback.
Hey, man, now you
Uh-oh.
doing too much.
Nah, see.
Now you doing too much. See,
Hey,
everything
it's a
was
wrap.
good all day. We had a good show.
Uh-oh.
Let's get up out of here for more shots is fired. We running out of
We'll get to that soon enough.
We got to be. I'll be here next week for that one.
Ooh, he said he want that to be a topic for next week, right? He calling you out. Woo.
He don't want the Kyler Murray conversation.
Oh no, we
Yeah,
gonna have a Kyler Murray
we have that.
conversation.
All right.
just
Yeah,
defended-
Dev,
You just
missed
defended
that one.
Deshaun Watson.
That's a
We
heated
gonna have the
debate.
Kyler Murray. We gonna have the Kyler Murray.
If we
conversation.
could
You
trade Carson Wentz today for Deshaun, I would trade him today and I would start him game 1 and make the NFL suspend him.
who did
You
you
ain't
say?
gonna keep dragging this out. Like,
Who did you say we?
Washington.
Oh, for Deshaun.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought we were still talking about Kyler. I thought you was trying to get me Wentz.
Man, I don't
man,
want no Kyler Murray.
I was about to send this man.
So hold on. You said you would rather have Carson Wentz than Kyler Murray?
I think he did.
I
Is that
think
what you're saying, Ray?
I don't see the huge upgrade.
You didn't answer my question. Is that what you said?
No, I would take Kyler. Kyler's better.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ray, don't
Making
do.
sure.
Don't, come on, man.
But-
I don't see the
Making
huge
sure.
upgrade.
But it ain't-
Get out of here.
I was good. Yeah.
It
you had
equates to
me
maybe
concerned
more
there for a
wins.
second.
Carson Wentz is like playing Tecmo Bowl compared to playing Kyler Murray. he Carson gets to running. He
They
get to
both
blinking.
divas.
He get to blinking.
Your sis ain't playing that no bro.
You said Carson Wentz a diva. I mean, Kyler Murray could be a diva to a little bit of extent compared to Carson, though.
For what? Carson Wentz was almost an MVP one year. What Kyler
Yeah,
did?
this guy
His
just
backup won a
say
Super Bowl.
almost.
His backup won the Super Bowl.
Okay. He learned from him.
Did you just say almost?
He did almost. Did you watch the season?
I'm mad that you didn't say that he was MVP. You said he was almost MVP.
He was, but he got hurt. He got hurt,
Yeah.
so he didn't win.
And
He was under the heat
the words of Brandy, almost doesn't count.
Close but no cigar.
And has Kyler Murray ever been close?
What?
Has Kyler Murray ever been close?
Hey man, first of all, he was a number one overall pick. You know, that means we started at the bottom with that.
That means it's Andrew Wiggins, right?
He's on the rookie deal right now
And he ain't happy.
because he don't want to be on a rookie deal.
Well, play better.
See now, look, I'll be here next week. I'll be here next week. I gotta go get some food right now. I'll be here next week.
Hey, I will too. Celtics in 7. You heard it here first. Oh, snap. I won't be here next Thursday. I lied. Something in the water is coming. Pusha T's hosting a festival here. Not Pusha T. Pharrell's hosting a festival here in D.C.
That's fire.
Pusha's going to be at a bowling alley on Thursday night. So we actually going to be there Thursday night, and then the festival's all weekend. So
This Thursday coming up, this Father's Day weekend.
yeah.
Okay.
Who else is gonna be there?
Oh, it's everybody. Push, Tyler the Creator, Pharrell and Friends, SZA, Snow. Like, if you're a big name artist, you will probably be there. I think
You sound like a Rolling Loud tour.
Kanye on the break. 21 Savage, Black,
You say Kanye on a break?
Ashanti and Ja Rule, Chloe and Halle.
Ray
Oh,
look
that's
like Ray got the Kanye mask on right now.
That's how his section gonna look in the stadium and be everybody on TV. They gonna just have it.
Hey, Jay, that's gonna be his owners box.
I wish, but nah, they didn't even offer VIP. But that don't matter. But yeah, so I won't be here. So we can table the Arizona talk. But I
Yeah,
rather
let's say that for training camp.
Yeah. I don't know
We're
about
a week or so away.
my Celtics is not looking great, but
they pulling away.
Steph
late.
had the bad shooting night. I just Tatum didn't do enough yet.
That's them free throws that they missed. In the
Them
first
free
half.
throws.
Right. There's still a lot of time left, so
Boston
it's
is
not
who I
over yet.
thought they were. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Boston is who I thought they were.
Oh, now here you go. Here you go. Just that quick.
Nah,
Right
I'm
back
right.
off.
My man
Right.
Gray hit the Lord. Yo, Gray hit the back door.
Man,
It's all right.
He's about to slide out.
You know, you
Right,
heard
I'm
Tatum
gonna-
said.
Ray
We
with
just
the,
like
all
to
right,
make
I'm
it
gonna head
harder.
out.
We just like to
Any
make it
last
harder.
words?
I'm good.
Nah, we just
Y'all be easy, man.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
call on Monday.
All right.
Warriors.
All right, y'all. Till
We'll be
next
back
time.
on Thursday. Tune in.
Later.
Yes, sir.
The heck is this?
Man, drop
Well, you know, you wasn't supposed to.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.